too. Just about it.
Now, I take you all to May Day 1297, outside the Green Man Inn in the centre of West England.
There were 3 men came out of the west there 44 to die. And these 3 men made a solemn vow, John Barleycorn must die. They ploughed, they sowed, they harrowed him, throwed consul on his head. Then these 3 men made a solemn vow, John Barleycorn was dead. They hired men with the scythe and sharp to cut him off at the knee. They rolled him and tied him round the waist and served him as barbarously. They hired men with the sharp pitchforks who stabbed him to the heart. And the loader he served him worse than that, for he bound him to the cart. They wheeled him round and round the field till they came unto a barn. Then these 3 men made a solemn vow of poor John Barleycorn. They hired men with crabtree sticks to cut him skin from bone. And the miller he served him worse than that, for he ground him between 2 stones. Here's little Sir John in the nut brown bowl and the brandy in a glass. And little Sir John in the nut brown bowl proved the stronger man at last. For the huntsman he can hunt the fox, must loudly blow his horn. And the tinker he can't mend kettles or pots without a little Barleycorn.
On May Day than outside the Green Man Inn in West Ealing.
Wait a bit, I know you. It's John Hurd, isn't it? By Alan, you were a lot better looking when I first knew you.
Well, the last time I was here, that was in 1267.
30 years ago.
Yeah, I can count too.
Yeah, and in all that time, I haven't had a pint of beer as good as yours anywhere.
That's my beer, matey. If he had to brew the beer, we'd got out of business years ago.
I'll drink to that.
Listen, Maggie makes the beer. I bring the customers in.
To drink my beer.
And to hear me sing.
So, friend, where have you been all this time?
Everywhere.
Right, you must have been a soldier then.
Yeah, but not by choice.
How did that happen then?
Well, it was all about a woman, of course. That Eleanor over in Norfolk, the miller's daughter. She was a beauty. She swore she'd be true to me till hell froze over. And as it happened, that was the first year the River Brent froze over. And sure enough, I found her in bed with the blacksmith.
What did you do?
I hit him with his own hammer.
I remember hearing something about that. Didn't do him much good.
Killed him. The sheriff made me an offer. Have your eyes put out and be castrated, or go on crusade with Prince Edward. So I spent the next 5 years running around the Holy Land with our brave lads fighting the Mamluks. And you know what? We never had the proper gear. What we did, a pair of boots. And those Mamluks, they were tough and cunning.
Ah, they're wicked, all those foreigners.
Well, now, if they came over here and invaded us, I don't suppose we'd be very nice to them.
Well, one of them nearly got Prince Edward, you know. He'd been working for us as an interpreter. And then suddenly one day he pulled out a knife and jumped on him. But he's a tough bastard, that Longshanks. He knocked the assassin to the ground and strangled him with his bare hands. But he'd been wounded in the arm, and the wound turned septic. So that's when he decided to go home. Well, I blessed him then, although I've cursed him quite a lot since then, I can tell you.
I know a song about that. Shall I sing it for you?
Oh, shut up, Alan.
See, friend, there's no culture around here.
Shut up, Alan.
Oh, they're all barbarians.
Right, well, so, where else have you been, John?
Well, France, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, all the really horrible places where you can't get a decent meal and the women are all ugly. And you're running around, you know, tired and hungry all the time, and your friends keep getting killed.
You should be a recruiting sergeant.
I tell it like it is. And you know what, I don't know why these people want to be independent anyway. They'd be much better off with us running them. Take this last campaign. The Scots were down raiding in Carlisle. Great bunch of hairy, drunken lads.
Very different from your lot then, eh?
I should say so. We can take our drink. Anyway, we beat the pants off them in Carlisle, not that they were wearing any, and they retreat across country to Berwick, really fortified town. So we take that, and then we do some raping and pillaging and kill them all, as you do. Scottish independence.
I know a song about that too.
Oh, shut up, Alan, or I'll set mag on ya.
No, anything but that.
So, if everything was going so well, John, why are you back here?
Disease. You can't fight that. And your man, the Lord de Mandeville, died at the flux, along with most of our company. So we are disbanded, and I come home the returning hero. Broke and in rags, with just enough money to get drunk and no more.
Well, welcome back, hero.
Any chance of a job?
You must be joking. Have you any idea what's been going on here while you've been away?
No.
Well, while you've been strolling round the world, writing and pillaging, and having a lovely time, the rest of us back here have been slaving away in abject poverty, paying exorbitant taxes to keep you in clover.
There's only one slave around here, buddy, and it ain't you.
Well, that's feudalism for you, isn't it? It might have some disadvantages, but it's the best system we've got.
Compared to what?
Death.
Under feudalism, everybody knows his place.
Yeah, in the doo-doo.
There was a time when that Simon de Montfort was in charge that we had parliamentary democracy.
Oh, that will never work.
But look what we have in now. Look, everything is owned by the barons who are very, very rich, and everybody else is dirt poor. You've got folk round here clearing the forest, planting some wheat, keeping pig. There are a couple of settlements over Lee Lindeen and two more down at North Fields.
I know a song about it. No, I don't.
They're doing quite well, but by the time they pay their rent, the tithe to the church, and the special taxes for every war, they've hardly got enough money to come and have a drink after Mass on a Sunday. And then we have all the new regulations. We have inspectors coming round checking the beer. What do they call it? Off brew. And others weighing the bread. And then all of them looking for backhanders.
Yeah, and then there's all those immigrants.
What immigrants?
Well, the Jews and the Gypsies.
Yeah, that's right. And the Irish coming over here, taking our jobs, stealing our women.
Yeah, and the Danes and the Norsemen.
And the Normans.
And the Saxons.
That's us, that is.
And we're the Britons.
No, them's the Welsh.
But the Saxons come from Germany.
Yes.
All right, give me another pint and I'll agree with anything you say.
All right.
Anyway, how come you know so much?
I don't just run the Green Man, brother. I am the Green Man. I'm part of the landscape here. I stood here when all they Plantagenets are long gone.
Well, I'll drink to that. And since there don't seem to be any jobs here, I guess I'll have to go and clear some forests myself and grow things. Well, I'm used to living off the land. Is anything going on down by Warren Farm?
Not yet. But if I were you, I'd speak to one of their Queen's Park Rangers.
Ah, you were talking about them. He said he called them the jigsaw puzzles.
Why's that?
Because they go to pieces in the box.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. Tell me, is Thursday still market day?
It certainly is. Only day I make any money apart from holidays like today. Why don't you drop in on John Gardner? You'll probably send one of his sons over to help.
Is he still alive?
Obviously.
Well, I don't know how I'd repay him though. I'm sure he's not going to do anything for nothing unless he's changed.
No, he hasn't.
You could offer in September from the clearing, or your labour at harvest time.
I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Will we see you on a Thursday?
Well, you probably won't see me here before All Saints' Day, unless I dig up a pot of gold.
Yeah, that's raining, that is. Best go inside.
That's not rain, Green Man. That's snow. Snow? On my day? Bloody hell!
street as I rode on, I spied a lawyer riding before. Kind sir, says I, ain't you afraid of Turpin, that mischievous blade? Oh, rare Turpin hero, oh, rare Turpin, oh. Says Turpin, you'll never find me out. I hid my money in my boot. The lawyer says there's none can find the gold stitched in my cape behind. Oh, rare Turpin hero, oh, rare Turpin, oh. As they rode past the powder mill, Turpin commands him to stand still. Says he, your cape I must cut off, my mare she needs a saddle cloth. Oh, rare Turpin hero, oh, rare Turpin, oh. This caused the lawyer to be sad, to see how simply he'd been had. For Turpin robbed him of his store, because he knew he'd lie for more. Oh, rare Turpin hero, oh, rare Turpin, oh. Oh, rare Turpin hero, oh, rare Turpin, oh.
A good song, and excellently sung. You have to laugh at that Turpin, though, the way he fooled the lawyer. He must be the only man in England to make money by going to the law. But he's no more a hero than I am. He was a common criminal, a horse thief, a murderer. He is well hanged.
You're a man, Mr. Fielding. Remind me what you do for a living.
I'm a lawyer.
And that Turpin was an outlaw, same as Robin Hood. Some say Robin Hood was a common criminal.
And they're probably right.
Is it just to condemn a man simply because he wears a hood?
What honest man goes about wearing a hood?
Monk wears a hood.
You prove my point, Mr. Green.
Was that someone on the door? Go on, would you?
I see you keep your doors locked to keep the outlaws out.
All right. But my point is, us common folk need to have heroes as another fear of the rich folk. That's why we sing songs about them. The rich would hang you for stealing a few pence.
I agree. The rich are ghastly, by and large. I used to make my living writing plays about them.
Are you writing something down?
That is the question, isn't it, Henry, darling?
Oh, how the devil did you find me?
I googled the local magistrate, and he spilled the beans. Come, landlord, bring me a flagon of your finest. I am thirsty for both ale and knowledge.
Well, what do you want to know?
When are you going to write me another play, sweet tea?
Listen, Moll, it took an act of Parliament to stop me. We have censorship now, and when you want to put a play on, you have to get it approved by the Lord Chancellor. We can't do it in the theatre anymore. That's why I'm going back to the law.
Oh, censorship will never work. It'll be repealed within a year.
Well, don't hold your breath. We have to be able to poke fun at that fat-ass Kraut George II without the threat of transportation. And as for that self-styled great man Robert Walpole, but we can't do it in the theatre anymore. I'm going to write a novel.
Oh, Henry, you can write me a novel. But what else?
That Robert Walpole was a swine.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yes, but a lot of people liked him.
Aye, they'll probably name a fountain art.
That'll never work.
They're probably right. They'll probably name a school after me. But that Robert Walpole, he really was a swine. All those old Etonians around him, he raped the public purse. They lined their pockets with gold. He should have gone to jail for that South Sea bubble. It was only his cronies that kept him out of it.
So why should they do that?
Because He stopped the reform of the House of Lords.
Oh yes, and he's there himself now, isn't he? He's Lord Orford, as a reward for our victory at the Battle of Cartagena. It was in the newspapers.
The Battle of Cartagena, my friend, was a disaster.
But our Admiral Vernon, he was a hero, wasn't he?
He was a vain, incompetent fool. We lost a quarter of the ships of the Royal Navy, 20,000 soldiers were killed. Cartagena is still in Spanish hands and the Spaniards control the Caribbean. No, Walpole had to go. They gave him a peerage just to shut him up and to save the honour of the king. Yet we must be able to write the truth even though we disguise it as fiction.
What was that?
I said, stand and deliver. Give me your money and your jewels. I've got a gun.
That's it then. Oh, that's not a gun. That's an anachronism.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Sorry, sir, we have no money. Please spare us.
Oh, come on, you must have something. Have a look behind the counter.
Look into my eyes, matey. You'll see I'm telling the truth. That's it. Look deep into my eye. Keep looking. Keep looking.
He's not even loaded.
And I have plenty of money behind the counter. We're all of us cheats and liars when it comes to it.
My hero, Henry! Where did you learn to do things like that?
Eton College?
So you're an auditory yourself too, you deceiver!
Yes, but I'm a lawyer and someone must uphold the law. You can't go across Hounslow Heath all the time and be held up with highwaymen, can you?
No, you can't. It's interfering with my business here. Traffic on the Bristol Road is building up nicely, but the coaches is held up every other day. Only last month, they stopped 3 of my horses.
So what are you going to do with him?
Oh, I'll throw him out when he wakes up.
But aren't you afraid he'll try and rob you again?
He's too stupid to be dangerous. But if I hand him over to the magistrate, he'll be hanged.
Yes, but we do need a proper set of justice, and we do need a force to uphold the King's peace. I'm working on a project with my brother, who's a magistrate. We're going to call the force the Bow Street Runners.
Never work.
Not a chance. But there is something you can do, Henry. If you can't write me a play. Buy me dinner, sweetie. And give me a kiss!
Shortly they're leaving the 18th century. During which time, by the way, the world's first plant nursery was founded here in West Ealing, run by the Lee family. Market gardens and orchards covered the area for many, many years. Then, in the 19th century, we had autotype, a unique photographic imaging process, very high tech. That company grew and grew, quite close to my Green Man Pub. The tram, the train, and the underground roared in, and thousands of houses were built, radiating from the stations in the Uxbridge Road. West Ealing High Street outshone the Broadway as the 20th century stumbled through 2 world wars. Then, in the 1970s, 2 council housing estates were put on. One named after me, the Green Man estate, the other, the Dean Gardens estate. Both were badly managed and badly maintained, and both are set as a crime, substance abuse, and antisocial behaviour. A Green Man Inn stood on the same site for centuries, and they pulled that down in the 1980s. That site is now occupied by an Iceland store and a 99 poo shop. West Ealing High Street, like hundreds of others, is in decline. But I'm still here. Though I'm getting older now and I feel the cold, So I need my cup. It's quite smart, isn't it? Bought in a charity shop. Recession has bitten deep into the core of West Ealing. And before we meet today's street players, we'll catalogue in song the names of the 53 Prime Ministers as have brought us to this pretty pass. These are all the Prime Ministers of England to the present day. Most of them were wealthy, unhealthy and fat. All of them except for one man and several were at. The young Wyndham, Redhill, Cavendish, Benedict Cavendish, Benedict Spencer, Percival, Robert Bates, Jenkinson, George Canning, Frederick Robinson, and Otho Wellesley. Just ready, Glasgow, is ready, and Glasgow. Glasgow's so glad, but Glasgow's dies, will then not George Aiken. Arrow was and Glasgow, with Rarity, MacDonald, and Margaret Thatcher, John Major, then Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron, Moron.
The problem is, like, my dad disappeared. I went to a crap school with crap teachers. We live in a crap flat. I've got 2 brothers and 3 sisters who are really, really annoying. I can't afford to go to college, so I've got to get out onto the streets. And in order to survive there, I need certain things.
What things?
A Galaxy S4, that's the first one.
Chocolate?
No, mobile phone, costs 40 quid a month, and then there's 30 quid for the iTunes, not to mention a load for the games.
And what are the other things?
Well, Asics gels, baggy trousers, Calvin Klein underpants, t-shirt, hoodie, and none of them's cheap. I'm telling you, the shoes alone cost £105, man. I can show you the receipt.
Why can't you buy it all at Primark?
And everybody would diss me. I'd be trolled.
How bad would that be?
Really bad. I'll probably have to commit suicide.
So how do you manage then?
What, trade, don't I?
What?
Nah, stocks and shares, what do you think?
I think that's very bad.
Well, it's better than thieving, isn't it?
I think you should get a job.
Come on!
See, the problem is, I can only get a part-time job, and then my mother has to look after the kids, and she's not getting any younger, and then the social are always on at me threatening to cut off my housing benefit. And where are you ever going to find a man these days who wants anything other than uncomplicated sex? I'm a slave! I'm exploited! Everybody depends on me. The only time I get to relax is on the balcony with a cigarette. And then in the evenings, when I've put the kids to bed and I've finished the washing up and I've put the clothes in the washing machine, I've just got time for a quick gin and tonic and an episode of Game of Thrones, and I'm off to bed. Alone.
You see, my challenge is to make an efficient investment that will help the general business community. A lot of my friends own office blocks, but they're all empty. Just nobody wants office accommodation. But for a canny Yorkshire entrepreneur like myself, this provides an opportunity. I've just bought a small block of flats, very cheap, in West Ealing.
And what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to turn them into bijou luxury accommodation.
But who wants to live in West Ealing?
Well, lots of people.
And who can afford it?
Well, in a few years' time, there'll be a crossrail station here. Big train will come all the way from Canary Wharf. These financial folks, they want to live in the burbs. They want their boutiques, they want their leisure centres, they want their pedestrian precincts.
And where is it you live?
Oh, in a converted farmhouse in the Chilterns just off the M40.
I see.
The problem is we don't have enough affordable housing. And what's more, the affordable housing we do have is on sink estates occupied by problem people.
Problem people.
People who are trapped in poverty. People with disabilities, single mothers, people who are unemployed, immigrants, criminals, drug dealers. So we are going to do the needful and tear down the sick estates and replace them with attractive, affordable housing in luxury high-rise apartment blocks.
Affordable by who?
People with jobs, people with ambition, proper people.
So what's going to happen to the people who live there now?
Well, some of them will take advantage of the situation to improve their standard of living.
And the others?
They'll move out.
Where to?
Wales, West Midlands, Poland. There are plenty of places. It's an opportunity for them. They'll adjust.
Oh, see, the real problem is the high street. We used to have lots of local businesses. Now we have supermarkets, and charity shops, and betting shops, and pound shops, and pine-down shops. It's very depressing.
So why don't we do something about that?
We shall leave no stone unturned.
Why don't we have something like a neighbourhood forum
What for?
to get people to talk to one another? Take an interest in what's going on around them. Create a neighbourhood plan.
Nah.
Ridiculous.
I think we should give it a try.
Whatever.
Well, what have we got to lose?
The resident and the planner should be friends. Oh, the residents and the planner should be friends. One that likes more parking places, the other likes more open spaces. That's no reason why they can't be friends. The Western folks should come together, Western folks should all be proud. The planners dance for the residents, all the residents dance for the planners dance. I'd like to say a word for the residents. They came up west and made a lot of changes. They came up west and built some big extensions and kept them from the planners' keen attentions.
The resident is a keen and thrifty citizen. No matter what the planner says or thinks, you'll seldom see him drinking in a barroom.
Unless somebody else is buying drinks. But the resident and the planner should be friends. Oh, the resident and the planner should be friends. The resident converts his cellar to a flat. The planner shouts, you can't do that! But that's no reason why they can't be friends. Westie folks should stick together. Westie folks should all be kind. Planners dance for the residents, or the residents dance for the planners go.
I'd like to say a word for the planner. The road he treads is full of pain and strife. He works all day with only planning guidelines as his friend. You kinda wish that he would get alive.
Oh, the residents should be sociable when the planner calls to check out your conservatory. I hope you took the bed out from your garden shed.
And don't take him up to that extra story. Yes, the resident and the planner should be friends. Oh, the resident and the planner should be friends. One girl wants a beauty spot, the other wants a sushi bar, but that's no reason why they can't be friends. Oh, let's get emotions together, let's get emotional holding. Planners dance for the residents, all the residents dance for the planners.
Thank you.